For more on this, we're now joined by Miyelani Mkhabela, who is the Chief Economist at Antswisa Management Group, and he'll give us a bit of his insights when it comes to his expectations for the MPC announcement tomorrow. Miyelani, thank you so much for joining us here on the late edition. Of course, tomorrow we are expecting that announcement by the Reserve Bank Governor Lesetja Kganyago. What are your expectations? Do you expect it to go up or down?
We are focusing repo rate hold. When you look on the inflation of 4.7 and the inflation of 4.8 for this month, you can see that there is no major change in that, or probably I can say it's a small margin in terms of movement, but it remains within within 5%, and in that we expect the Reserve Bank MPC to hold repo rate, and the holding pattern as we forecast for the July MPC, we expect it as well for the November MPC, as we believe that inflation will really be outside the Reserve Bank target bracket.
Yeah, and Miyelani, I saw a number of reports where a number of people are saying that we can expect the repo rate to be unchanged. What do you think will be the key contributors? Should we see it being unchanged?
The main contributors are that inflation has eased far better to levels that are manageable now, because as I've been indicating, it is even below 5%. So at the level where it is, we can manage inflation, or we can manage price stability. Domestically, but the very similar trend, or the very similar holding pattern, it is as well happening globally. And when you look on the US and then you look at China, they've kept a repo rate unchanged today. But at the same time, you look at Bank of England, and then you look at the European Central Bank, they are expected as well to hold the repo rate. So this holding pattern, it is as well a trend that probably will guide the global monetary policy to hold as inflation has eased. Not only domestically, but it is a pattern as well in the global market.
And Miyelani, when it comes to load shedding, we know that it always is a factor when it comes to the repo rate. Will this something be influenced by the MPC tomorrow? Because at the same time, one would say that load shedding in this country has not been very stable. Sometimes we find ourselves on stage 6, and tomorrow we're back on stage 1. Will this be something that will actually impact the MPC announcement?
It will not impact in any way, because I have indicated that we are expecting a repo rate hold. So if repo rate remain unchanged, there will be no impact that will be driving a repo rate up or down, but it is remaining unchanged. So the factors that led inflation to be slightly higher, it is increase in fuel prices and municipal rates as they increased in the month of July. So such as contributed in the slight increase in inflation, but that slight increase doesn't really put the MPC to be in a position to hike a repo rate. Even with 25 basis points, I don't think such is expected where we are now, because inflation has eased to a stable position that we can manage.
And one would say, Miyelani, that you are very positive in terms of what we can expect tomorrow. What does this mean for consumers, especially consumers who are homeowners and especially those who are in debt? If it remains unchanged, surely it will be good news for those in debt.
Yeah, it will be good news for all business and individual consumers alike. And at the same time, you will expect consumers not to expect any messages from their banks in terms of increase in their bond repayments or in their credit facilities like repayments. So that will come up as a good news, and we expect that the Reserve Bank will just hold the repo rate.
How important is this announcement tomorrow for South Africans?
It is important to all South Africans because if it can go to the opposite direction where inflation probably was above 6%, then they hike repo rates. So that could probably affect consumers in terms of like additional repayment amount that will be needed. And when you look at consumers now, they are already cornered with the repayments that they have like now, and I don't think consumers can manage an additional repayment amounts or like a bond obligation increase at the situation that we are at as a country. Because I mean, like, you look at consumers that are very, very stressed, and at the same time, the economy is not growing. So it is not really going to be something that we can see it as assisting the economy in whatever way, because consumers, it can be the general working class and the middle class are holding the economy in its shoulders. But if they have problems or default in their repayments, that could cause more problems than we have now.
All right, Miyelani, thank you so much for your time and for your comments there. That is Miyelani Mkhabela. He is Chief Economist at the Antswisa Management Group, and he is quite optimistic in terms of what we can expect there tomorrow from the Reserve Bank Governor Lesetja Kganyago, saying that, the repo rates will remain unchanged. But of course, we'll wait for that announcement that will be given tomorrow in the afternoon.